Hey there everyone, Andrew Lopez with Partner Channel OC out here in the lovely Corona Del Mar. I'm very excited. We are here at Southern California Art Projects and Exhibitions, also known as SCAPE, and I have the wonderful owner and creator, Jeannie Denholm, here with us. Thank you so much for letting me come to your studio. This is awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
I love the paintings that we have here, and I was very, very excited to be. Jeannie was here at Kelly Lamb's Talks of Purpose a few weeks ago. That was such an amazing event.
That was a good event.
I was very glad, I really strung on to you with the whole creative process thing. I'm an artist, musician, and the creative process is everything. So I took a lot from your 7 minutes of speaking out. So, let's get into this. Once again, very glad to be here. And so, Jeannie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I grew up in Denver, Colorado, and I always loved art and thought I wanted to be an artist. And went to college and was a studio major and learned very quickly that I loved what everybody else was doing in the studio and classroom more than what I was doing. So there was a little bit of a shift that started right there that was starting to appreciate what others could do in the art that I couldn't. And that's thinking out of the box, thinking creatively. I always sort of drew things exactly as I saw them. And then in tandem with that, I had a really great art history professor who just opened up this world to me of art. I went in sort of knowing Impressionist work and not much else, and she just opened up this whole contemporary art scene. And so that was a really big shift for me. I went from being a maker of art to an appreciator of art and sort of kind of a voice for artists, I think, having dialogue. And so that was the first sort of shift for me, and I became an art history major and shifted from being a studio major to an art history major. And then sort of flash forward, there's a point as an art history major, the question is, what are you going to do with that degree? Particularly then, at that time, there was only 5 of us in that major. And you sort of choose, your options are teach, work for a museum, and then, or maybe work for a gallery. And so I was sort of exploring those ideas, and I thought I might teach. I thought that I love the university setting and education, and I thought teaching was a good option. But to teach, and if you're going to work in a museum, you really needed to get your master's degree. So I went pretty quickly to graduate school, following undergraduate work in art history, and I was burned out. I thought, I'm tired of school, and so then I thought, okay, I'm going to take a break. And I decided to try the gallery world, and I volunteered at the museum. I thought I'm just going to look at both sides and sort of see what I like, where I want to be, and discovered that I really loved the gallery world. I loved the conversations with the artists. I loved the conversations with the people coming in to see the art and view the art. And I loved the people that were working at the gallery, and it was just this really great setting that I loved a lot. And in contrast to that, the volunteer work that I was doing at the museum, and granted I was low man on the top of the totem pole, but it was in more of a corporate setting. And I wasn't interacting with artists. I was at a desk with a computer, and I might not have had computers yet then, but I just was more of a corporate setting. So that was a second shift. And I knew that I loved the gallery business, and I loved sales. And so I interviewed and tried to find gallery work, and I had a wonderful position in Denver, Colorado, where I oversaw 3 galleries. One was in Vail, one was in Aspen, and one was in Denver. And had a lot of fun. It was great. It was fun being in the resort communities in the seasons. But I knew after a number of years that if I was really going to be serious about the art business, that I needed to probably leave Colorado. I had what I thought was probably one of the best jobs in the art business in Colorado, but I knew it wasn't really the art market that I really wanted to explore. I needed to get out. So I pinpointed Chicago, LA, San Francisco, New York, and I had a girlfriend from college that was living in California, and I thought, I'll just start with California. Came out here and fell in love with it, and I thought I'd stay a year, and decided I didn't think I could leave it. So then I just started exploring opportunities in California, and I had, at that time, the Japanese played a really big part in the art market, and there was a Japanese owner that was opening up a gallery in Irvine, California, and was a weird segue, but somehow I became the director of that gallery, and did not stay open for very long because the Japanese market kind of collapsed about a year later. But it allowed me to ground myself, in this area and establish some great relationships and start to develop some really meaningful relationships with California artists. And then, sort of at that time, there was the art market was really sort of bottoming out a little bit. A lot of galleries were closing. So I went back to graduate school, and I got my degree at Cal State Fullerton. It was one of those, it was exhibition design and museum studies, so it wasn't a traditional art history degree. It was a really great hands-on program where we were designing exhibition space, where the walls go, what color are the walls, how you're laying out exhibits, and it was really great because it almost went back to me being an artist, and the gallery was my palette, and my medium was working with artists. It was, I was able to create almost like a composition, but using other artists' work, and whether it was theme related, whether they were group shows or solo shows. So it's really great. I sort of at that point got to rediscover the art of what I do on this side of it. Mm-hmm. So I did graduate work, and in that sort of, I think, of another really big instrumental shift for me was through that program I learned of a position that was at the Broad Art Foundation in Los Angeles. And I interviewed for that position and was very lucky in that I did get that position. So I worked at the Broad Art Foundation for 9 years, and I was overseeing Eli Broad's corporate collections, which meant that I was spending a lot of time in artist studios and a lot of time in other galleries, acquiring work for his corporate collections. And it was all Southern California based, and it was primarily young to mid-career artists was the focus of the corporate collections. So that was a huge turning point for me. I had a wonderful opportunity to work with one of the most respected collectors in this area and develop some really great relationships with galleries and artists and just get a really good education, understanding, and sort of emergence into Southern California art. So that has become my focus primarily. I think the majority of artists that I work with are Southern California. And I do a lot of corporate art consulting still. And that sort of led me to the direction of my career.
Wow.
That's a brief, I think, quick
No, that's
background
perfect.
of how
I love it.
got,
I mean, you just coming out to California and kind of probably laying out the map and saying, okay, I'm going Chicago, LA, New York City, San Francisco, I'm just going to go California, and here you are ever since, right?
Yeah.
And you never look
fell in
back.
love with the water.
There you go, right? You can't go wrong. It's the best place. As I've said on past episodes, this is the best place to live, Southern California.
Well, it was great because I lived in resort communities, living in Vail and Aspen, and it's always been fun to work but feel like you're on vacation. Mm-hmm. And I got that sense here, being in California, because it's beautiful. You're out.
Permanent vacation, right? What does Don Henley say? He says you could check at any time, but you can never leave. I love it. No, thank you for sharing, your history and kind of what led you to the creation. So what is your business? What is SCAPE?
So SCAPE, because of my interests, and I have a lot of varied interests, SCAPE is an umbrella for a lot of things. I specifically didn't call it a gallery. It's Southern California Art Projects and Exhibitions. Exhibitions refers to what happens in the space. I rotate exhibits anywhere from, I would say, 7 to 12 exhibits a year. Sometimes I'm crazy and do one a month. Sometimes I back off that a little bit and do 7 a year. But there's always an exhibition happening in the space. And art projects sort of refers to all the areas I like to get involved with. That can be the corporate art consulting. There's art advising is a really big part of what I do, which is a little bit more service oriented, working with clients specific to what their interests and needs may be. I never wanted to restrict myself because I worked for Eli Broad at the Broad Art Foundation. I never wanted to restrict myself to only being able to show artists that I represent. I had all these wonderful relationships with galleries in Los Angeles and with artists, and they might have exclusive contracts or something with galleries. And I didn't want to be limited to not being able to show their work as well. and I wanted to bring art that I thought wasn't being shown in this area. So art projects allows me to work in tandem with other galleries. So I'm not a gallery in the traditional sense. So it's kind of a hybrid gallery art advising business. So
you've created something really special, haven't you?
it's Southern California, and it's art projects and it's exhibitions.
I love it. You've created something truly special, and it's something I've never really heard of.
I think it's pretty unique.
It's pretty unique, yeah. I love it. And just the space here in Corona Del Mar is beautiful. I wish everyone can see all around. I mean, there's some beautiful paintings here, and I love what you do. And last question, Jeannie, what I have for you is a question we always ask on Partner LLC is how do you value partnership in your business?
So partnership is a huge part of what this business is. It could be art partnerships and exhibitions. No, because my joy and my love for what I do is based on the relationships that I build. So I think of the artists, and those are partnerships that I have with the artists that I work with and show here. I have some wonderful relationships with gallery owners, significant gallery owners in LA, and we work together. I think a lot of times in tandem and in a partnership where I'm either taking clients to their galleries or showing some of their artists here. I love collaboration, and so I have some, I'm always open to partnering with other people, using this space in unique ways. There was Barbara DeMarco Barrett does Pin on Fire, and it's an author speaking series, and we had but we would use SCAPE as a place for her to bring the authors to speak, so I look at that as a really unique partnership. Using the space for events. So partnership is a really important part of this business.
Yeah, I love it. You can't go wrong, right? Partnerships, you could say you wouldn't be who you are, and SCAPE wouldn't be what it is without partnerships.
No, it's the energy. It's the energy of everybody, the artists, the people that are coming in and that we're working with, and I love all of that. So it's a really important part of what I want.
Well, perfect. I love your value of partnership. I love what you've created with SCAPE.
Thank you
so much for being a part of Partner
Thank
LLC.
you.
I'm going to put Jeannie's contact info below. Please come down to the gallery. Really cool
stop by.
stuff. Come check it out. She's here to just really, really enlighten you with all the amazing art going on here in Southern California. So, Jeannie, thank you so much for being part of the show.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.